Lots and lots of water. I mean, I must drink 2 gallons of water every day on this tour. Literally, seriously, it's so hot. It's unbelievable, and the heat is following us around. Luckily, our tour bus is well air conditioned, so just sit on there with all the blinds, closed, and sit in the dark and watch Lord of the Rings over and over. That's what we were doing earlier today. Just try not to be outside. We have to do a signing every day for the Rockstar Energy drink. All the fans and everything that want to come meet us, and man, it is really hot. But they've got, fans of a different type that kind of blow on you all over the place in there. So everyone who comes in is all hot and sweaty, and they're shaking your hand, and they're dripping water and drinks all over, and they're like, "God, it's so hot out here." And I'm like, "You didn't have to come here. I'd be at home. I wouldn't come out to this. It's way too hot, and it's just not. It doesn't seem like it's going to let up." I mean, I live in Atlanta, so I know of the heat, but it's every day, all day. I mean, we haven't really come to the lyrical concepts yet, so like that's usually the last thing that comes. We're usually like focused on the music and getting all the parts and everything sounding, like totally balls to the wall. You know what I mean? Like that's the most important thing. And then once we got all that settled and recorded, we're always scrambling for lyrics and ideas and stuff. I mean, we're getting a little bit better at it, and I think Braun's got a lot of ideas for vocal melodies and stuff like that, which we've kind of like, I'll play the riff and he'll kind of sing along, and I'm like, okay, that sounds really proggy, like really awesome. Like I'm really, really excited about it. But as far as what it's going to be dealing with, it's a little too early to tell. It's pretty fresh stuff right now. I mean, we've got some demos, but they're really, really rough. I don't know. Death is always a very shocking. It always makes for really good storytelling, and it's kind of the theme that we have a lot in our music. I mean, we've had a lot of friends pass away since the last record, and I'm not really sure yet. I think we're kind of focusing more about living on this earth, and what would happen if this was your last year to live, So I think that's sort of like maybe a little bit what we might be kind of touching on. But I can't give too much away yet, As far as being eerie and spooky, I mean, we always try to write stuff like that on purpose, like try to be eerie and spooky. I don't really know yet, though. A lot of the stuff sounds really, we toured with Alice in Chains and the Deftones, and musical tastes kind of change, and different elements come to play. And for me, I hear a lot more stuff that I'm writing. I've been writing a lot, So I mean, I've probably written 20 songs. It's crazy, and a lot of them are very, more kind of upbeat and rock, which is kind of a change for us, but I think I'm just a more happy person right now. When you kind of, art reflects life, and it's like how you're feeling and your mood kind of, I played a riff for Braun, and he was like, man, it sounds kind of happy. Like, and he was like, are we happy now? I was like, I don't know. I am. I'm a pretty happy guy. So that's kind of how we work. It's pretty simple. But we'll have to see. I really like the way The Hunter went. That was a total kind of, not total change in direction, but we just kind of proved to ourselves that we can just write stuff that we think sounds cool, and doesn't have to all flow together. It doesn't have to all sound the same. It can be totally different without a concept. So I think that really opened up my mind, at least, to like, oh, what if I write something like this? Is that going to be cool? And everybody seems, we're all on the same page right now with all the songs, the 30 or so songs we've gathered so far, you know. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Well, we always, kind of jump at the opportunity to do anything that's outside the box of just playing, making a record and playing a concert or whatever. It's like, oh, movie? Sure. I mean, it depends. We've been asked to do like the Punisher movie, which when we kind of read the script and kind of looked at it, we're like, I think we're going to pass, because that just didn't, it didn't seem like it was going to be that great. I don't even think I saw it, but I don't think it did very well. But, not putting the movie or who wrote it down, but, we kind of pick and choose. We get asked a little bit here and there, like, well, you want to do a song for this, and for Monsters Inc., or Monsters University, I mean, I've got 2 children, ages 6 and 8, and they love that stuff, and when I talked to Tom from Pixar, he had just called pretty much outright, and they said, hey, we want you to write a song, and we're like, well, we're in South America right now, and we can't really write a song and do it. They were like, we need it like yesterday. I'm like, okay, when's the movie come out? Oh, a year from now, next June. It's like, all right, well, why do you need it right now? But we're just happy to do it. So right when we got home, this is like November. So right when we got home, it was like, everybody takes a break, goes their ways for the holidays and stuff like that. And we had been on tour for a couple months, so we're like, okay, let's get away from each other. But they wanted to just use something that sounded like Iceland, and we said, we really want to be a part of it. And they're like, well, if you can't do it, we're going to hire another band to sound like you. And I said, no way, we can't do that. I can't let that happen. So then I just started recording demos of stuff I was writing to try to sound like Iceland, and put some like little fake drums to it with my little MIDI drum player, and sent it to the guy immediately, and just said, here you go. Look, we're writing, we're doing it. And he's like, okay, yeah, that sounds really cool. Can you get the other guys to play and sing on it? And we just kept buying time, because, you think the record industry is crazy, the movie industry is even more insane. It's just like they want everything done right then and there, and it's like you can't just be creative on the spot. You have to like kind of soak some stuff in, and you need to know all the variables of what do you want to write? Okay, what's the movie about? What's the part that you want us to play, and how long do you want it to be? Do you want screaming vocals? Do you want happy vocals? What kind of lyrics do you want? We need to know all this stuff and like kind of process it before we can't just belt out a song. You know what I mean? So we got it done and sent it off, and I'd actually written a song separate from, which was just, I forget what we called it. I forget the name of it. It's like Screaming Over Closed Teeth or something like that. But we wrote this song, and it was only like 10, 15 seconds long, and I actually sang on it, and they loved it and they liked it, and they were going to use it right up until the week before the movie premiered, and they did a 180 and said, no, we're gonna use Iceland now. So we're like, whatever, okay, that's cool. As long as we're in the movie, it's great. So I got to take my kids to the premiere, and my wife, and it was like the day after Father's Day, when I had just gotten back the night of that Sunday of Father's Day from London, from touring over there, and flew straight to LA from Atlanta. Went straight to the premiere. I was pretty tired, but I was excited about seeing the movie and hearing our song in it. But when it finally that part came up, I couldn't tell what was going on. Maybe I was out of it, but maybe it was just sounded it was so quick and happened so fast. But we're glad to be a part of it. We do it again in a heartbeat. Yeah, well, I mean, we did Jonah Hex. We did that. We'd love to do that again. That was quite an experience. It was very interesting. It's like you watch the action on a screen, and they're like, okay, now write something to that as you're like literally like write that in there. It's kind of interesting. Like, it's not anything like writing a record. That's when you come up with an idea first. You don't look at a screen and Okay, this train's coming and it's going to run off the tracks and explode. Like, write something to that. It's like, okay, I don't know. So yeah, I would love to do something like that again. Augmented reality. Probably, yeah. I mean, there's so much you can do with it. I mean, I don't know how it caught on or not, but it's just a cool thing to have, in your CD collection or whatever. I mean, because it's getting harder and harder to sell CDs. Every year it does. People just aren't buying hard packaged CDs. They're ripping it off the internet or whatever. You see our sales go down and down. So we have to come up with some cool idea that kids can't just rip. They can go out and buy and enjoy it like we did as kids. Well, yeah, but that's not my job. My job is to make music and to be an artist. That job is for the record companies to figure out how to keep selling records, and they don't seem to be doing a very good job at it. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we had the Asstodon shorts, and they went over so well, like red gym shorts that say Asstodon on the back. So I thought, we should make some bikinis. Yeah, I think we have them for sale here. Maybe it's hot enough. Take off all your clothes. Yeah, put the bikini on. Put the Asstodon bikini on. Rock out. Um, I don't know. Nothing I can really talk about with you on film. I mean, we do have like party mixers every I don't know. I think it's like once a week, and each band gets to host it and throw a party for the whole Mayhem Fest for everyone to come to. And we're probably gonna brew up some wolf urine and get some like crazy freaks and karaoke and just throw a big party. That's in like 2 days, I think. In the I don't know. It's on the 22nd. We're gonna do that. So that's about as much I can reveal of our shenanigans backstage. Yeah, we're always right next door to Rob Zombie and Amon Amarth. So I find myself wandering over to the Amon Amarth room a lot and just shooting the shit with those guys. And they're really interesting dudes. We all went out for a lobster the other night when we were in Maine. It's cool. I've talked to Rob Zombie a few times, and John Five and Piggy, the bass player, and all great dudes. I mean, we've kind of known each other since years ago, and just touring with them. And the Machine Head dudes we know, but they're kind of on the other stage, so they're never really backstage. We hide out because it's so freaking hot outside, so we're just kind of sitting in our room, like waiting to see somebody comes in that's new and fresh. After Mayhem, we are going home and we're going to finish the record and hopefully get it recorded by the end of the year, and hopefully it'll be out soon after that. But, just go back home and relax and spend some more time with my kids and my family. It's tough being away in the summer because the kids are off. I could hang out with them all day, but instead I'm here. But this is the path I chose, so it'd be nice to go home and finish the record. Not really. I mean, I play in another band called Primate with Kevin Sharp from Brutal Truth, and we're like a grindcore rock and roll band, punk rock band. And we've been working on a lot of new material as well, and those guys send me the songs on the road, and I mix them up a little bit and kind of direct it a little bit from the road as much as I can, get home, and hopefully we'll be recording another record soon as well. Yeah, we're on Relapse Records, and we got another record or two with them, and going to try to knock that out, and it's pretty amazing stuff. You should check it out. It's much different than Mastodon, but it's pretty heavy.